This game is the latest first-person shooter that has gone free to play, a game once hyped as a Battlefield killer. However, now the whole gaming community is hating it, but why and how did it fail? This game originally came out in 2018, but it died, so in early 2022 they tried to revive it and it died again. This time, I thought for good. However, it was announced that the game would be re-released under a free-to-play model and people were initially excited. You could see why. It's a large-scale Battlefield-like game with in-depth gameplay, great graphics, large array of weapons, and detailed customization. However, developers have been inconsistent with their messaging and not receptive of community feedback, two core ingredients for a game's decline. This all culminated in the free-to-play launch, which turned sour when the issues started appearing, issues that we'll cover today. This turned into a barrage of negative Steam reviews, turning the recent review rating from positive to overwhelmingly negative, a level only seen with the worst games. So why did a community sentiment go so negative so quickly, especially for a game that people previously loved so much? What are the issues that caused this hatred, and is the response justified? Furthermore, and most importantly, despite these issues, is it still a decent game to play? This is Undercover Dudes, and today we'll be answering all of these questions and dissecting the free-to-play launch of World War III, a tactical first-person shooter developed by the Farm 51, a game which has a shooter community at a crossroads. Simply, World War III right now is in a bad spot, and these are the reasons why, but I'd also like to hear your perspective in the comment section below. The worst one right now is simply downloading and installing the game, thanks to the World War III launcher. With most games on the Steam store, you can download the game via Steam, which uses their high-speed reliable servers. For some reason, the developers decided to force a separate launcher which downloads this 65GB game from their own servers, conveniently at the slowest speeds possible. This somewhat worked when the game was in beta, but when tens of thousands of people were trying to download it, it completely failed, meaning people could barely even get this game on their computer. From what I can see, this single issue is the target of so many negative reviews, and that's completely fair. Not being able to download is ridiculous, but it's a shame because this problem could so easily be avoided by just doing what literally every other game developer does. This leads to the second issue, loading into the game itself. Players are getting client issue after client issue, authentication errors, black screens, infinite loading screens, so on and so on. Seemingly the servers are so overloaded that players can't get in. Before moving on to the next issue, if you have any feedback in the comments, it would be really appreciated. And if you're enjoying this video, a sub would be amazing if you think I've earned it. Now the third issue is when you get in game, if you're able to. Users are reporting it's impossible to hop into a match, game lobbies are crashing, matchmaking times are horrendous. It's the reason I'm using older footage since I literally couldn't get in. This is unfortunate because World War III is really quite a good game, hence my original excitement. The movement and shooting is top notch, the customization is awesome, the maps are detailed, it's a hardcore shooter for the masses, and that was the reason why everyone was calling this the Battlefield killer. Was that title too much? Obviously yes, but this game had potential when Battlefield and Call of Duty was flopping because it did the fundamentals well. However, it's everything else that is making this game crumble. The fourth issue is related to the Farm 51 themselves, in that this could so easily be avoided. If they said, hey, the servers aren't right yet and we need to delay, that would suck, but it would be understandable. Instead, they hyped their new launcher, said the game had a solid structure, but then didn't say anything for 4 months and just dropped free to play out of nowhere. The launch issues show the consequences of these actions, but the developers saying on Twitter will fix these issues in the next couple weeks is just salt in the wounds, as the long closed beta should have been exactly for these issues. Despite these issues, the raw quality of World War III is still there. However, until these issues are fixed, it's sadly not worth playing.